Hi Orc-Dorks. Today we're going to talk about how to use practice rhythms. Now we've talked a lot about practice rhythms in the past in class with long, short, long, short, long, short, long, and short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. But today we're going to talk about it in terms of groups of 3. So in your high-tech for string book, I'm on page 29 on exercise number 19, the Tarantella etude. And we're going to use this etude to help us practice using practice rhythms, so that we can get our fingers to be really fast, but not only fast, to be really even. Because a lot of times in 6/8, the danger is that one of your notes sounds longer than the other, or that you're not distributing your bow properly, and so we don't hear all of the notes the same. So first, I'm going to start by going through and playing this just as separate bows so that I can make sure that I know all of the notes and all of the shifts. I'm also, of course, going to make sure that I have good posture and that I'm using good dynamics as I'm reading through this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ready, go. And then there would be a repeat there. That very last note is a harmonic, and to play that harmonic, it's not an artificial harmonic, and it's not the harmonic that we sometimes play in the middle of the string. You just lightly put your finger where that note would be if we were to finger it. So like on the violin part, I'm going to set my third finger as if it were going to play that A, but instead I'm going to just lightly touch it to make that harmonic sound instead, and I get that higher pitch. On violas, it's a fourth finger on the A string, and for cellos, you're going to shift up on the A string, and then for basses, you're going to play the shift up to play fourth finger on the E string. So now, I've done my separate bows. I'm going to play some stopped bows, and when I do my stopped bows, I want to divide my bow for good dynamics, so using smaller amounts of bow for the measures that are piano, using bigger bows for the measures that are mezzo forte and forte, but I want to make sure that however I'm dividing my bow, it's still divided evenly into thirds. I don't want to use all of my bow on the first note and then shorter bows on the other 2 notes. So I'm going to slow it down just a little bit so that you can see that bow distribution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that would be stopped bows. Now is the time when I'm going to start using practice rhythms. So I'm going to go back to separate bows actually. And my first practice rhythm is going to be long, short, short, long, short, short. So the 6/8 notes are divided into beams of 3 notes per beam, and each first note of the beam is going to be the long note, and then the other 2 notes are going to be short notes. It's going to look like this. You can do that on your own. Make sure that however you do it, you do each practice rhythm at least 2 times so that your hand gets really comfortable, especially for the other 2 practice rhythms, which can be quite a bit trickier. Now I'm going to go to the middle note being the long note of each beam. It'll sound like this. Those were the wrong notes. Apologies. But that is the practice rhythm, and I would certainly do that again because I played wrong notes, and you can do that again too to make sure that you get comfortable with that middle note. That tends to be the hardest one because you really have to make sure that you keep your bow sort of even keel so that you have enough bow for that middle note to get more bow than the other notes. Next is short, short, long. And that would be short, short, long. Now we're going to do each of those practice rhythms again, but this time we're going to do it as stopped bow. So it'll have to be a little bit slower, but we can start thinking already about where do we actually want our bow to be when we are playing fast passages. It gives us a little bit more control over that bow distribution so that we're not kind of just throwing our bow on the string and playing as fast as we can because we can. So this is long, short, short. And then short, long, short. And then short, short, long. And then we can do that as well with slurs. And then short, long, short. And short, short, long. And then once you have a really good control over that, that's when you know that your fingers are strong enough and your bow is steady enough to start bringing the speed up so that we get more of an even tarantella that sounds fast and exciting but still under control. Something like that. So your assignment for the week is to practice those. Pick the one that you are having the most trouble with. This is not a grade, so don't try and pick the one that's easy just because it'll sound really good. I want you to challenge yourself to learn a new strategy this week. Work on it, see if you can kind of master it or at least come to terms with it so that it can be added to your daily repertoire vocabulary of practice strategies, and send me a video of you playing that and show me that you've kind of learned something new and different and exciting this week. Good luck. Let me know if you have questions, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.